The chairman of the Munich Security Conference has been brought to tears by JD Vance's speech, in which JD Vance essentially just told Europe to get its act together on principles like free speech and stopping the mass invasion of its borders. But apparently that was too much to handle for this guy. Is this what you call strong leadership? I don't think so.
After the speech of Vice President Vance on Friday, we have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore.
Not that common anymore? Do you not care about free speech? Do you not care about border control? Well, clearly not. Clearly we don't share that with the United States anymore. And you guys are for mass censorship and mass immigration. Europe is fooling.
I'm very grateful to all those European politicians that spoke out and reaffirmed the values and principles that they are defending.
Yes, all of the politicians in the echo chamber of European bureaucrats that you live in, that's completely out of touch with reality and normal members of the population.
No one did this better than President Zelensky. Let me conclude, and this becomes difficult.
Oh, bless his little heart. Poor baby. And they're all applauding him. They're lapping this up. There we go. Hugs, lots of support. Poor guy. He was bullied by JD Vance. Poor man was bullied by JD Vance. Bless his little cotton socks. This is just pathetic. Okay, this comes right after we had that horrific car ramming attack in Munich, the very city where that Munich Security Conference was being held. That happened whilst we had the conference happening. Yet he has his ears closed to what JD Vance has to say about controlling our borders. Okay, remember that the suspect in the Munich car ramming is an asylum seeker. That's pretty troublesome. And I just wanted to show you Darren's tweet on this, which I think just sums up the ridiculous state of the world right now. And it's European bureaucrat leaders. Europe is burning and its leaders are crying. Literally, the chairman of the Munich Security Conference broke down in tears today, not over the Islamist car ramming attack in Munich, not over the AK-47 shootings in Brussels, but because JD Vance hurt his feelings. Poor little thing. Europe's very civilization is at risk, and instead of facing reality, its leadership weeps like infants over criticism. This is what unserious, feeble leadership looks like. No wonder the continent is in crisis. Completely agree. This is weak leadership, especially after you've literally just had that Islamist car ramming attack in Munich. They don't care. They don't care. They're happy for these attacks to keep on going. I don't know if you guys have seen the map with all the terrorist attacks in recent years plotted. Interestingly, there's one blob on the map that doesn't have a single dot on it. And that's Poland. Any surprises that, or is it just pure coincidence that Poland doesn't have any illegal migration? They don't allow anyone through their borders. Just a point to make. And I wanted to show you this tweet as well, which I think also is important to show. The chair of the Munich Security Conference starts crying and can't finish his speech. The Europeans start applauding. Why are they applauding? A display of oversensitivity and weakness. Men whose job is defending nations can't afford displays of oversensitivity and weakness. It destroys deterrence. It causes wars. These Europeans are applauding their own downfall. I do think they're applauding their own downfall. And one thing that's important to note is the disparity between the reaction of the people in the room and the reaction of the people online, normal members of the public. So the JD Vance speech, it did not go down well in the room. The European leaders there, they hated it. They weren't applauding JD Vance like mad, like, oh my god, this man speaks such common sense. Okay, they hated it. It was just silent in that room. But then online, everybody loved this. Everyone was so impressed by this. Normal members of the public, they got it, they connected with him. But then this guy, he is crying his eyes out. What does the audience do? They're all like, oh, yes, you speak such sense saying JD Vance is such a horrible bully. Okay, the audience there of the European leaders, they loved it. But online, everyone hated it and says this is weak leadership. Who the hell is this guy? We need to listen to JD Vance instead. The disparity at the moment, this is why we really do have a democratic crisis. The disparity between these leaders, these bureaucrats that just live in a bubble, and the general population is just so huge at the moment. Now, who is this guy, this chairman of the conference? Well, Tom Harwood put out this tweet. And so the chairman, he's called Christoph Husgen. I apologise if I pronounced that incorrectly. And Tom said Europe is at war. One issue to single out, according to Munich Security Conference chairman Christoph Husgen, gender-balanced panels. Let's take a look at that video.
One issue that I want to single out is the global gender backlash we are experiencing. It was all the more important to have gender balance on our panels, and we had this for the third year in a row, as you saw just before.
Interesting. So a lot of people have criticised JD Vance for taking advantage of a security conference where you should be talking about security to talk about free speech. Yet this guy is happy to talk about gender at the security conference, which I'd argue is really not that important at a security conference, but apparently it is to him. And this obsession with wokery, you know, as we've pointed out, these wokies, they are obsessed with censorship, and they were absolutely furious to hear that JD Vance wants free speech in Europe. Let's have a look at what is going on in Germany, where this guy is from and where this conference is being held. So this is what I'm going to show you, is a person being arrested for a meme in Germany.
It's 6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany.
Hier ist die Polizei, wir müssen bitte mal mit Ihnen reden.
Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online.
This is
At the exact same
1984
time,
level
across
shit.
Germany,
Memes are banned.
more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what
See, it wasn't
prosecutors
just one.
say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech
1984.
in Germany.
So there we go. That's what's going on in Germany. They did not like the sound of JD Vance saying we should have free speech, because they want to keep on cracking down on people who post memes online. And I'm not done talking about this guy yet. Let's expose this guy in full. So someone else posted this thread about him. So remember this guy? His name is Christoph Husgen. He was laughing in 2018 when Trump said Germany's economy was dependent on Russian energy. The German economy is now crumbling because they did not listen. Fast forward 6 years later, Husgen is now head of the Munich Security Conference, but he failed miserably in his objectives and broke down in tears after JD Vance's speech. Husgen was also Merkel's top advisor when she implemented the Wir schaffen das open border policy that flooded Germany and Europe with millions of hostile migrants. Oh, and when Husgen's mailbox got hacked, it appeared he had given his own wife a very lucrative job at the UN, but this scandal was swept under the rug because the hackers were said to be Russian. Europe must replace these weak, pathetic and corrupt politicians with real leaders, or we will perish. Okay, interesting. I don't know if those scandals that he talks about there, I don't know how much of that is true, but sounds like this is let's just say an interesting individual with maybe not the best track record. If it is the case that he was part of the team allowing Germany's borders to be flooded with migrants, no wonder he is so hostile to JD Vance's speech telling us we need to sort out our border control. So there we go. That's the background on Christoph Husgen, the Munich Security Conference chairman, who broke into tears. That video's gone viral after JD Vance's speech. What a productive security conference, eh? I have so much faith for Europe's security after that conference, don't you? Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you press the subscribe button below if you haven't already. See you next time.